What's up, guys? Earl Sumo Bully Kennels back at you with another episode. So in this episode, a question for you. Is your dog an asset, right? Let's get into that. First, let's discuss it from a point of view of a pet owner, right? For myself, I've had dogs all my life. They have always been an asset to me. They've offered me companionship, love, and to be honest with you, they're part of my family. I can have a stressful day, and when I unwind, that dog offers me a sense of stress relief. I truly enjoy the quality time with my pets. Enjoy watching them play with my son, right? When they run around and horseplay. Even exercising, right? Some days I feel lazy. I don't want to get up and do it, but however, if the least I can do is at least walk with my dog, right? And that's some form of exercise when I don't want to do it because I feel bad. It's like unfair to my dog, to not be able to stretch his legs and have at least one walk a day, right? So with that said, I mean, most of all, it's unconditional love and affection that our dogs give us. Our dogs have always been a part of our family and therefore have always been an asset as a personal pet owner. But in today's episode, that's not what we're talking about. Let's change the lens, guys. Whoop! Change your eyes real quick. Here we go. As a breeder or a show person, is your dog an asset, right? Some of us may or may not consider them an asset. However, regardless of how you view them, they absolutely are an asset. One, you spent countless hours researching this dog before you got the dog, right? What bloodlines you like, what phenotypes you like, the representation of the breed that you favor, Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So, two, you've invested time and money to acquire this dog. This dog was not free. You had to fight for your first pick, second pick, third pick, or whatever the case may be. The question is, what is the value of your asset? Because it is an asset. I don't care which way you put it. If you watch my other videos, I go over the cost of ownership and what I refer to as the price of admission, right? Which is what the dog costs, what it costs to feed and house the dog, provide proper medical care, training, pictures, videos, and everything else associated and comes with what we do as dog breeders or show people, right? Dog show people. And I really wanted to touch on this one, guys, so bear with me. It's a lot. But I promise it gets better and better as we go along, right? So now let's talk about the value of your dog. Only two ways to build value for your dog. One is placing in shows and productions, right? Does the dog clone himself or create a better version of himself? And at the show, does he stack up well against his peers in the age group, in the category, and everything else? So if you have a male, those revenues come by stud fee or sale of an adult, right? So you can stud your dog out or sell him as an adult. Some people don't like buying puppies. They don't want to wait. They want to buy an adult dog. If you have a female, those revenues come by puppy sales or sale of an adult. Same thing, right? I bought an adult dog, so trust me, I get it. So if indeed your dog is an asset, let's talk about value then. Assets have a value, right? Starting with a male, guys. The value of a male in our industry is how well he produces, right? He throws his look, corrects himself, makes himself better, or how well he stacks up against other dogs of his age and peer group. Both of those things affect the price of your stud fee and his resale price as an adult dog, right? Stud fees can typically range from 5 to 20. I've seen people with $50,000 stud fees. How many people buy those? I don't know. I've never sold one, but they're on there. If you just look it up, you'll see it. And some even on the higher end that I'm not even going to get into. But, to sell a show quality, show tested production tested male, right? Think about those things. That's in his prime of 3 years. And 3 years is a good number because now you could see his productions at about a year and a half, right? Those price ranges can range from 30, 50, $100,000 even. These are general price range. It all depends on the bloodline. Who has taken this dog and nurtured it. It's really two parts, right? It's the pedigree of the dog, the phenotype of the dog, what the dog looks like, and the person who is holding this dog. Did they do right by the dog? That's what determines the value of a male at 3 years old. So, hope that makes sense. So now let's discuss the female. It's very similar, right? The value of female is how well she produces, right? Is she a kind of girl that's not very fertile, only produces 2 puppies, or whatever the case may be, and how well she stacks up against her peers. And I'm talking about in show or just in casual. Both of those things affect the price of her puppies, right? The resale price of an adult female that is proven that has had litter, at least 1 litter, with 8 or more puppies, right? That's a high value female that also has place in show, right? So let's think about that. So if you were buying an adult female that's had 1 litter, okay, with 3 puppies, and has never really been to show, even though she carries the phenotype, right? Does that affect her price? And I'm telling you, yes, it does. So if she had a litter of 3, this is the part that you can control. Did you progesterone test her? Did you do a TCI, multiple AIs, or surgical? Did you catch the proper time of ovulation? Or is it that she just does not ovulate many eggs, right? So a buyer can look at it from the perspective of, she doesn't throw big litters. Or is it that as a breeder, you kind of guessed at it and hoped she would take? You see what I'm saying? Where you can affect the value of your dog based on how you take care of your dog. And as a person buying the dog from you, I'm going to look at, has she whelped a litter? Has she produced? Has she been a show? How did she stack up, right? If you're not a show person, cool. If you're just a breed person, cool. Either way, all those variables I'm talking about affect the value of your asset, which is your dog. And as we all know, okay, moving on, puppy prices can range from 15 to 20 to 25. I've seen puppies for $30,000, right? So to sell a show quality, show tested, production tested female that is in her prime of about 2.5 years, right? I've seen prices range from $50,000 to $50,000. That is a general price range. Some super high value females have sold for more and would sell for a lot more, to be honest, right? Keeping in mind that she had 1 litter and is a proven mom, she still has 2 to 3 breedings left. And that's really all dependent on how well you take care of her. Do you take care of her regular doctor visits? And I'm not just talking about a regular vet. I'm talking about taking her to a specialty repro vet who specializes in fertility and reproduction so that they can manage the breeding career of your girl. That is your responsibility as a dog owner. So let's see, what have I covered? What have I not covered? Covered assets. I covered the girls, right? Here we go. In summary, here we go. Actually, let's bring this back to full circle first. Before I summarize everything, I took a lot of notes here, guys. And again, a lot of this information is based on what you guys asked me. And so, when I answer one person, there's someone else that can hear this information and it would help them. And so this is why I do it. So let's bring things to full circle, right? If a dog is an asset, all assets have a tangible value. And what is that value, right? That value is built by the time and investment you put into that asset. So if you did nothing, that asset will not increase in value, nor should it. All assets have a lifespan and expiration date, right? For a male, 3 to 5 years of production. for a female, up to 4 litters, right? Or so they say. Understanding the lifespan of your asset allows you to calculate your maximum return on investment, guys. Your ROI. So acquiring an asset or a puppy, you'll invest 2 years in building the value of that asset. That's nutrition, that's care, that's training, all these things that you got to put into the dog. That's marketing your dog, right? Putting your dog out there for others to see, right? Because I don't care how much value you believe the dog has. Part of the dog's value is public perception, guys. If I think my dog's worth $1 million and no one would pay $5 for that dog, the dog's not worth $5. I'm sorry. That's the honest truth. So that's going to hurt some of you guys. Sorry. So after 2 years, you have 2 to 3 years of max ROI, right? And that's in stud fees or puppies if you have a girl. So at some point, once that asset is retired, that dog will continue to be an asset for a pet home owner, right? And that's the value of being a pet home, a dog just for a home. In my case, we don't sell retired dogs. We place them in the right homes to the right families at no cost, right? Ultimately, it's a win-win for everybody. Win-win for me as a breeder, win-win for the dog, win-win for whoever gets this amazing, beautiful animal that's well socialized and trained for free. All right. So, that's a lot, guys. Bear with me. We're almost there. So, in summary, really think about what I'm trying to tell you guys. I put a lot of thought into these episodes because I really want to help and answer a lot of the questions that you guys reach out to me on the side for. So, in summary, in this industry, your dog is an asset, okay? You'll invest in that asset and build value, or not. Also, keep in mind that asset lifespan of production and max ROI, right? As a responsible breeder, all your dogs should retire with dignity in a happy family home, right? And this is where breeders and our breed takes a black eye, because anything that looks like a pit is categorized as a pit, right? Mixed dogs, mixed breeds, band dogs, all these things. And a lot of people jump into it because of money, the allure of money, right? I'd be lying if I said otherwise. So if people just jump into it for the allure of money and not understand and do their research of the full cycle, what happens is they have their litters, they're done. Now no one wants this girl. You know, her teats are drooping because they didn't take her to the vet and get her properly taken care of. They just throw the dog on the street. Someone calls animal control. They end up at the pound, right? And if you look at the pound, a lot of those dogs are pit bull looking dogs. Unfixed, unneutered, whether they're male or female. Typically with the females, you could tell they've had litters. So that's the sad part, the dark side of the dog breeding industry. And that's why as dog breeders, we take a black eye because of irresponsible breeders, right? Apologies for the snoring. That's my dog Snickers sleeping over there. She's just snoring her life away. So anyhow, let me continue. Where was I? So to somebody out there that's listening to this who's not in our industry, you know, you may seem like, wow, that's cruel, you know. Let me give you perspective, okay? I raised my child until his or her early 20s, right? I have a child. That's 20 years of me building value, providing my child with education, nutrition, exercise, mental and emotional support to raise a good human being, right? Then my child goes out and starts his own life, works for the next 40, 50 years to provide for his or her family, right? Then he or she retires, hopefully with dignity, right? Are you connecting this? I'm going to connect everything for you. So on an average lifespan of 80 years, a person is not, doesn't do much or produce much in the first 20 years because they're growing and learning, right? And the same is true for the back 20 years. Those are your twilight years. You are not at your physical best. Maybe your mental clarity has deteriorated. You no longer, are sharp. So, point being, the 40 years to 45 years in between are the peak production years between ages 20 and 65. So if I did not invest time and money into my child, his value in the marketplace for earning potential would be much lower than, say, if he had a bachelor's degree or a trade skill. Now, given that he had a bachelor's degree or a trade skill, but I didn't put any time in him to develop him mentally, socially, spiritually, right? And morally, he or she may be difficult to deal with or be in a relationship with, right? In which case, no one wants to deal with that either way. Same thing goes with your dog if you don't socialize your dog properly. You may have a beautiful, amazing looking dog, but no one wants to pet it. You can't bring other dogs around it because no one wants to be around that aggressive dog, right? Or that dog has a dysfunction, right? Anyhow, I went on a rant, but you get the comparison I'm making, right? So there you go, guys. Your dog is an asset. The value of that asset falls on the investment of time and resources that you put into it. With that said, I'll let that sink. I'm going to continue to, address issues that I'm asked on the site to bring clarity for everybody. Now, I'm not saying my position is right or wrong. I'm giving what it is and my truths of what I've researched and what I've been through myself. So with that said, guys, until the next one, Earl with Sumo Bully Kennels signing off.